Hello students, good afternoon. Welcome back to Need Due JN classes. And in the last class we are discussing about the earthworm concept, the concept of earthworm, and we studied about the morphology of the earthworm completely in detail. We discussed about the morphology, means external structure of the earthworm. So now in this session we are going to discuss about the anatomy of the earthworm. So when you make the sectional cutting of the earthworm, so it is having the digestive system. We are going to discuss about digestive system, later circulatory system, later respiratory system, and later etc etc. Anatomy, yes, fine. Anatomy of the earthworm. In the previous class we discussed about the morphology, and now anatomy. What is the meaning of anatomy? Means cutting. Anatomy means what? Cutting. If you are learning something by cutting that animal or by cutting that, it is called anatomy. Human anatomy means you are going to study about the human being internal structure, how those structures are present and how they are working inside of that. So anatomy of the earthworm. So in the first class we are going to discuss about the body wall of the earthworm. This is important. In the first we are going to discuss about the body wall of earthworm. Yes, what is this body wall, sir? What is this body wall? Be careful, while we are drawing the earthworm, simply we are going to represent like this earthworm. Generally we are representing like this. This is the earthworm part and this is like this, which is having the number of segments. And here posterior opening, the posterior opening is called anus, and this is the anterior opening, and this anterior opening is called mouth. And you know that the first segment name is peristomium and last segment name is pygidium, and here there is a segment like structure but not a segment, that is called prostomium. So in this section we are going to discuss about the body wall. So now this is the body wall. This is the body wall. See, body wall is appearing like it is a single layer. This is the body wall, and this body wall is appearing like it is a single layer, but not actually. This body wall is not actually a single layer of cells. It is made up of some layers of cells, and all those layers are fused and appearing like single layer. You remember, this body wall is made up of what? So first of all, outside to inside we can get outside to inside. First of all, the body wall contains a cuticle. This is the cuticle. This cuticle is not made up of cells. The cuticle is not made up of a cell. It is a non-cellular. Cuticle is a non-cellular. It is made up of a protein, we can say. So it is not made up of the cell. This is the first layer. I am telling this body wall is appearing like a single layer, but it is not a single layer. It is a multiple layer. In that multiple layer, number one is cuticle layer. First one is a cuticle, which is a non-cellular, which is indicating that it is not made up of a cell. And after cuticular layer, next layer is present like this. Another layer is present here. This layer is made up of the cells. What cells are these? Means epithelial cells, like this. Epithelial cells. So this layer is called epidermal layer. This layer is called epidermal layer. First one is cuticle, second one is epidermal layer, and this epidermal layer is followed by muscular layer. This epidermal layer is followed by muscular layer. Yes, in Annelida class, while we discussing about the concept animal kingdom and the phylum Annelida, I told that earthworm contains muscular layer. Two types of muscles it is present. Circular muscle and as well as longitudinal muscle. These are the two muscles. So outer is the circular muscle, inner is the longitudinal muscle. So first of all, after epidermal layer, here there is a presence of circular muscle, means muscularis layer. In that muscularis layer, first muscularis is circular muscle. In this manner, the another layer is present, another layer, and this circular muscle is followed by the longitudinal muscle, like this. There is a presence of a longitudinal muscle. So this red is indicating that it is a muscularis layer, and the muscles are two muscles. Outer is a circular muscle and inner is a longitudinal muscle. Total how many are completed? 3 completed. First one is non-cellular cuticle. Second one is black color is epidermis, which is made up of epidermal cells. And next one is muscular layer, and that muscles are of how many types? 2 types. Outer is circular muscle and inner is longitudinal muscle. And later it is followed by the a single layer of columnar epithelial cells like this. You know, columnar means the cells which are very tall and slender. In this manner, all the cells are arranged in the single layer. If they are arranged in the single layer, means it is simple or a compound? Yes, simple. We discussed simple epithelium means all the epithelial cells are arranged in single layer. So now these cells are arranged in single layer, so epithelial cells. And these, which type of epithelial cells? Based upon their shape, they are not squamous, they are not cuboidal, they are columnar epithelial cells. So simple columnar epithelial cells. This is followed by the earthworm body. Here earthworm body will be there. So this part of the body wall I represented here. Now I also have to represent this part of the body wall of the earthworm. Na? So let's come from outside to inside. Yes, outside to inside. First one is what? The first one is a non-cellular cuticular layer like this. A non-cellular cuticle is present. Cuticle is not made up with the cells. And this is followed by epidermis. Like this, a black color, followed by epidermis. And this epidermis is followed by muscularis layer, and outer is first we are having the circular muscle like this. Red one is the circular muscle, all this is the circular muscle, and this circular muscle is followed by longitudinal muscle. This is the straight one, longitudinal muscle, and this longitudinal muscle is followed by the columnar epithelial cells. Yes, columnar epithelial cells arranged in single layer, and those cells are tall and slender, so simple columnar epithelium like this it is present. Now this is the body cavity. So this is the empty space now. Empty space is called what? Coelom. Empty space is what? Coelom. And this coelom contains fluid. Everything is the fluid. Because of that only this fluid is called coelomic fluid. Because of that only this fluid is called coelomic fluid. So now you remember this columnar epithelium, and this columnar epithelium is in contact with the coelomic fluid. Because of that only this columnar epithelium is also called coelomic epithelium. I hope you understood. This columnar epithelium cells are direct contact with the coelomic fluid. Because of that only these are called coelomic epithelium. And they contain some cells. Those cells are secreting that coelom. So secretory in function they are. You know that the columnar and cuboidal epithelium is responsible to perform two functions. One is secretion and two is absorption. So remember here, this columnar epithelium is in direct contact with the coelomic fluid. Because of that only this epithelium is also called coelomic epithelium. The question they will ask, with the pin, if you puncture the earthworm body wall. So now all this is the body wall. Now all this is the body wall. Actually this is the body wall, but every time it is very difficult to write all this. Because of that only simply we will represent with a one layer. But actually it is not one layer. It is made up of non-cuticle, followed by epidermis, followed by muscularis, in the two muscularis, and followed by coelomic epithelium. The question they will ask, with a sharp needle, if you perch the body wall, with a sharp needle you pin the body wall of the earthworm. Yes, pinned the body wall of the earthworm. When you pinned the body wall of the earthworm, something will oozes outside. Yes, something that will come outside of the body wall. What is that coming outside? Yes, the answer is correct. That something that is coming outside is coelomic fluid. This question is very, very important. When you perch the earthworm with a sharp needle, body wall of the earthworm, at that time into that what is coming outside means coelomic fluid, that it will come outside. So this is some part. And you might be knowing like this it will be present here anterior opening and here posterior opening. So every time writing all this is very difficult. So simply we represent like this. I hope you understood the body wall of the earthworm. So be careful in this body wall of the earthworm. Next, and after body wall After body wall, now we are going to discuss about the digestive system of the earthworm. Digestive system of the earthworm. Digestive system. And after digestive system, in this session we are going to discuss about the circulatory system. Circulatory system. We discussed about the body wall. Now come to the digestive system. Anatomy na? So digestive system. Now in this digestive system, so digestive system. Okay, fine. The digestive system contains alimentary canal will be present, and you know alimentary canal contains anterior opening. Yes, the alimentary canal contain anterior opening. What is the anterior opening? The anterior opening is mouth, M-O-U-T-H, mouth, and mouth is followed by the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity, and the buccal cavity is followed by pharynx, and the pharynx is followed by the esophagus, and esophagus is followed by the stomach. Esophagus is followed by gizzard, and the gizzard is followed by the stomach, and the stomach is followed by the intestine, and posterior opening is present. The posterior opening is anus. First you remember this sequence. The alimentary canal ante nothing but digestive tract. The alimentary canal of the earthworm contain mouth leads to buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, gizzard, stomach, and intestine. Posterior opening is anus. So why you highlighting all this, sir? Because earthworm body is divided into number of segments. So you should remember, mouth is present in which segment, buccal cavity is present from which segment to which segment, pharynx present from which segment to which segment, esophagus present from which segment to which segment. That is the most important concept here. So I am going to tell that mouth is the anterior opening, and it is opening in the anterior part of first segment. Okay, and the buccal cavity is present from first segment to third segment. I will represent with a diagram also, don't worry. The buccal cavity present from first segment to third segment. That is indicating the mouth and buccal cavity is both are present in the first segment. And the buccal cavity starts from first segment to up to third segment it will be present. And come to the pharynx. The pharynx is present in the which segment? Fourth segment of the earthworm. Pharynx is present. And next, esophagus is there. Esophagus is arising from fifth segment to seventh segment. And esophagus, after we having the gizzard, and the gizzard is present from 8th and 9th segment. And next, after gizzard there is a stomach is present. Stomach is extending from where? Stomach is extending from 9th segment to 14th segment of the earthworm. Be conscious here. Means 9th segment is the place for the gizzard, and the 9th segment is also the place for the stomach. So half of the 9th segment contains gizzard and half of the 9th segment contains stomach. In the 9th segment, gizzard is ending, and in the same 9th segment, stomach is starting. So stomach starts from 9th segment to 14th segment, and intestine is present from 15th segment to last segment. Intestine is extending from 15th segment to last segment. This is the basic knowledge. You have to keep this in your mind. Which part of alimentary canal is present in the which segment of the earthworm body? Mouth in the first segment, buccal cavity 1, 2, 3. In 3 segments it will be present. Pharynx is present in only one segment. Which segment? Fourth segment of the earthworm. And next one, esophagus 5, 6, 7. 3 segments. Gizzard 8th and 9th segment. And in the same ninth segment, gizzard is ended and stomach is started from 9 to 14. And after 14, 15. From 15 to last, what is present means intestine is present. So if you go for the diagrammatical view, I hope it will be somewhat much clear for you. And you know, the earthworm contains minimum 100 segments and maximum 120 segments. So here you are not discussing, let's take the earthworm with only 100 segments. 100 segment earthworm, peritima with 100 segments. So I can't draw all the 100 segments, right? It's very difficult to represent all the 100 segments. So, but I will represent up to 15. Up to 15 we will discuss. So, be careful. Okay, not much large. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. Still I have to explain, ma. Be careful. So in this manner, here anterior opening. What is the anterior opening? Mouth, you know. And this is the segment number 1. This is segment number 1. It is the anterior opening. For convenience purpose, I am making it large. So first segment, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9th, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, it's a time taking, 20, 21, 22, okay fine, you ignore that. So wait. Let me write the numbers. So numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 segments I represented. And this is the anterior opening. What is the anterior opening? Mouth. And the first segment is called peristomium, and here there is a presence of segment like structure, but it is not a segment, that is called prostomium, which is having the wedge shape. We already discussed in the first class. In the morphology we discussed. So now let's come into the alimentary canal. Yes, in this alimentary canal, it is present in the middle of the body, na? Like this in the middle of the body, the alimentary canal present. So let's erase all these names, all these lines. So here what is present? So let me represent with red. Anterior opening is mouth. Mouth already we represented. This is the anterior opening. The anterior opening is called mouth. Mouth is leading to the cavity. What cavity? Buccal cavity. So which is saying that the buccal cavity is extending from first and second and third segment of the earthworm. 1, 2, 3. This is the buccal cavity. This is buccal cavity, which is seen in 1, 2, 3, and this buccal cavity is followed by pharynx, which is very, very short, and it is only present in the fourth segment of the earthworm. This is the pharynx part, which is only present in the fourth segment. I hope you are understanding. And this fourth pharynx is followed by esophagus. Esophagus is extended from 5 to 7. Yes, this is the fifth segment. Now this is the structure which is a very long, which is extended from 5 to 7. This is the esophagus. It is esophagus. And then esophagus is followed by what? Gizzard, a muscular gizzard, which is indicating that the gizzard is made up of a muscle, a strong muscle, a muscular gizzard. See, gizzard is present from 8th and 9th segment. So be careful here. Now this is the gizzard. This is the gizzard which is present in 8th and which is present in 9th. Like this it is present. So see, in a 9th segment it is not completely present. So I am telling that the gizzard is ending in ninth segment. After gizzard, what is their stomach, and the stomach is starting from the gizzard. Yes, here there is a presence of stomach like this. The stomach is present. Stomach is seen from 9th to 14th segment na. So in this manner, here there is a presence of stomach. In this manner, there is a presence of stomach. All this is the stomach. STOMACH. It is a stomach, and this is gizzard. Gizzard, which is present in 8th and 9th segment. So gizzard ended in 9th segment, stomach started in the 9th segment. So be careful. And as of we discussed that this is, what is this after pharynx? It is esophagus. It is what? Esophagus. So buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, gizzard and stomach. And this stomach is followed by up to 14th segment. It is present na? Yes, this is the 14th segment. It is the 14th segment, and you should remember 14th segment contains female genital pore. In the ventral side, 14th segment contains female genital pore. After 14, what? 15. From 15th to last, from 15 to last, up to the last segment of the earthworm, there is a presence of intestine. Intestine. From 15th to last segment, there is a presence of what? Intestine. This is the alimentary canal of the earthworm. Okay, fine. And what earthworm is eating? Digestion means what? Breaking down of food molecules into simple molecules. These simple molecules later they will get absorbed. Okay, fine. Now what earthworm is eating? We are eating the food material like rice, curry, etc. and etc. What about the earthworm habitat? Food habitat. The earthworm is completely feeding on decaying leaves. Decaying leaves, the leaves which are damaging, the leaves which are decomposing. The decomposing leaves we call them as decaying leaves. And it is also eating the soil, swallowing the soil, dead and decaying leaves and soil. And I told that soil is also called humus. Why it is called humus? Because of presence of a humic acid. Because of presence of humic acid. So the food habitat of the earthworm is dead and decaying leaves, and attaching to these leaves what is the present? Soil. Soil is also called humus, means which contains humic acid. Okay, now just remember, earthworm is eating the soil. Yes, all this is the soil. All this is the soil. And that soil is swallowing, reaching to buccal cavity to pharynx, pharynx to esophagus, esophagus to gizzard. In gizzard, gizzard is made up of what? Muscle. In the gizzard, grinding will be takes place. Like how in the mill, flour mill, how grinding will happen. Same like that only in the gizzard, grinding of food particles will be takes place. Grinding of food particles will be takes place. Now after grinding, that dead and decaying leaves and the soil is, food material is entering into the organ which is known as the stomach. Now dead and decaying leaves are finally reached to the stomach. All by crossing all the parts of alimentary canal, the earthworm food is finally reached to the stomach. Yes, and I told that soil is also called what? Humus. Yes, why? Because it is a presence of humic acid. Acid means somewhat dangerous. Somewhat dangerous. Because of that only, in stomach there is a presence of a glands. In stomach there is a presence of gland. All this red is what? Food. If food is taken, finally reach to stomach. In the stomach there is a presence of glands are present. These glands we call them as calciferous glands. These glands which are present in the stomach of the earthworm, these glands we call them as calciferous glands. Important term. Calciferous, F-E-R-E-O-U-S. Ferrous gland. You know, gland means its function is what? Secretion. Now these calciferous glands are secreting something. The calciferous glands are secreting something. That secretion is mixed with the food and neutralizing the humic acid. Neutralizing the humic acid, the acid which is present in the stomach. So humic acid is neutralized. It becomes neutral. It is not acidic and it is not basic. It becomes neutral. It can't do anything now. It is neutralized in the which organ? Which part of alimentary canal means stomach. Why it is neutralized in the stomach means because the stomach contains glands. Those glands we call them as calciferous glands. The calciferous glands are secreting something, and that something is neutralizing the humic acid which is mixed in the soil. and the different enzymes are secreted, and after the secretion of different enzymes, means digestive enzymes, all the food particles are digested, and after digestion then what is going to happen? Absorption. Now that food material is reaching towards intestine. That food material which is completely neutralized, that food material is finally reached to the intestine. This is the intestine part. Yeah, now food is not present here. Food is reached to the intestine. From mouth to it is reached to intestine. Here the food is neutralized or not neutralized? Yes, it is neutralized. Why? Because in the stomach only it got neutralized. Now here there is a different types of digestive enzymes will be released, and that exposed to different digestive enzymes, all the complex molecules which are present in the food is converted into simple absorbable molecule. All the complex molecules are converted into simple absorbable. This process is called digestion. This process is called digestion. Grinding of the food material takes place in the gizzard, and the digestion will take, neutralization takes place in the stomach, and the complex molecules are converting into simple molecules in the small intestine. You keep remember this. You keep remember. And after digestion, what all the food products have to get absorbed? They have to get absorbed. Yes, they have to get absorbed. And one thing you remember, important, here 22 segments we represented here. 22 segments we represented. So remaining segments, let me write here. Let me represent. 22 are completed. 22 are completed. Now 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, etc., 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 etc. Fine. Now, in this manner, there is a presence here also one more segments will be present. I am not representing those, and this is the segment number 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 26 you round up. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Here confusion will be there. So many are going to confuse. Now, from 14th segment onwards, from 15th segment onwards, what is started? Elementary, intestine is started. So intestine is continued here even. So here I represented intestine with blue color, na? Okay, let me continue. It is with a blue color. Now in this manner, intestine. This is the intestine. And this intestine is continuing from 15th to 25th segment, and even in the 26th segment it is present. In the 26th segment, there is a presence of infoldings like this. There is a presence of foldings. These we call them as intestinal CK, which is called intestinal CK. Intestinal CK. So intestinal CK is arised from which segment? 26th segment. From 26th segment, the intestinal CK will be present like a horns. Like what? Horns. From this 26th segment, this is the intestine. This is the intestine. Like this it will be converted. It is present. This is intestine. Up to the last segment it will be present. Now you remember what is going to happen here means, actually from 26th segment, if you observe the intestine, from which segment means 26th segment. From 26th segment, if you observe the intestine, the dorsal wall of, underline this dorsal wall, the dorsal wall of the intestine contains a small structures, a small infoldings will be present. Like this, there is a presence of infoldings. All these are the foldings. All these are the foldings. These foldings, I call it as tympanosoles. Tymphanosole, important. Tymphanosole. The tympanosoles are starting from which segment? 26th segment. The 26th segment contains cecum, which is moving upwards, and from 26th onwards, the wall of the dorsal wall, underline that dorsal wall. The dorsal wall of the intestine contains a foldings, short thread-like structures. Those short thread-like structures we call it as a tymphanosole. And what is the use of this typhlosul? Human being small intestine contain microvilli. What is the use of the microvilli? The use of microvilli is to increase the surface area of absorption. The same function is done by the typhlosul. The typhlosul is responsible to increase the surface area of absorption. Why? Because after digestion, all the food material have to get absorbed. Where it is absorbing? In the small intestine. Especially it is absorbing more in which segments means from 26th segment onwards it will absorb more. Why? Because of presence dorsal wall of alimentary canal contain typhlosul. These typhlosuls are increasing the surface area of absorption. So here one statement is there. Now for example, let me write here. So this is the last segment of the earthworm. Posterior opening is this. This is the last segment, which is called pygidium. In this manner you continue. Let me wait here. So from 26th segment onwards I will represent the number 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. It's very difficult here. Up to 50 is present here, na? Okay, let me write here. Initially I should have written here. So wait for a while, be patient. Let me write all the numbers. I hope you can see this region. So from 26 onwards, let me represent 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. I hope, can you see this? If you can't, it will be complicated. No, you can't. Thank God. So okay, fine. 50. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. We can forward this one, okay? 60 followed by 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. These are the 100. Now, this is the last segment, 100 segment. I can also count from bottom to top. Now once go for bottom to top. 100 as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yes. This, if you count in this manner, this is the 100. If you are counting from posterior to anterior, it is 1, and I counted up to where? 25 segments. So these are the last 25 segments. And you know that this is the 26th segment of the earthworm. From 26th there is a presence of typhlosul is present. And the same from 26th segment onwards, there is a presence of, intestinal caeca is present. From the same 26th segment onwards, there is a presence of dorsal wall of intestine contain typhlosuls are present like this. So from 26th segment onwards, typhlosul is present. Up to where? Means from 26th segments to up to the 75th segment. Up to 75th segments, typhlosuls are present, which is saying that the last 25 segments of the earthworm intestine, typhlosul is absent. So be careful. If you not understand, you revise and you check once again. See, intestine is started from 15th segment. From 15th segments to up to 25th segment, typhlosul is absent. Now in intestine, See, let me write here. From 15th segment to 25th segment, typhnosole is absent. Okay. And the typhnosole started from where? It started from the 26th segment. From 26th segment to up to which segment it is present? Up to 75th segment it is present. Up to 75th segment it is present. And the last 25 segments of dorsal wall of alimentary canal in intestine, typhnosole is absent. Typhnosole is absent. Be careful. I hope you understood this. I hope. Means which is saying that from 76th segment to in 100 segment, typhnosole is once again absent. So be careful. Intestine started from 15 to last. In this 15 to 25, the intestine dorsal wall, typhnosole is absent. And from 26th to 75th segment, typhnosole is present. And remaining 76 to 100 segment, typhnosole is absent. Which is saying that the last 25 intestinal segment, typhnosole is absent. And in the first intestinal segment, until 10, 15 to 25 means 10. First intestinal segments and last intestinal segments, typhnosole is absent. And it is present between the 26 to 27. And the function of typhnosole is to increase the surface area for absorption. I hope you understood. In case if you not understand, just revise and once again you clearly observe. If you are having of any doubt, you make 100 segments. And reverse also you make 100 segments. 1 to 100 or 1 to 120 also you can take. 1 to 120. I took only 1 to 100. 1 to 100 you make like this, and later 1 to 100 you make like this. From 15th segments onwards, from 15 to last intestine. Intestinal typhnosole present from 26. Once you revise this, once you rewind, if you not understand, you will get clarity. This is about the digestive system of earthworm. Digestive system of earthworm. If you are having of any doubt, first you remember all this. Mouth in the one segment, buccal cavity 1 to 3, pharynx 1, esophagus 5 to 7, gizzard 8, 9, stomach 9 to 14, and intestine 15 to last. 15 to last. This is about the body wall of the earthworm, and which is followed by digestive system of the earthworm. I hope you understood the class and you read about that, and very soon I am going to post about the circulatory system, and circulatory system is followed by nervous system very soon. And thank you. Hope you enjoy the class. Thank you so much. Thank you to all.